we welcome you to our first episode of Here and Now at the Moore Dojo.
True episode.
Give yourselves a round of applause, everyone. We're here. What we are, we're a diversity group here of friends that come together. So what I like to do is go around the round table here and introduce everyone. Starting to my left, who do we got?
This is Nacho. Don't be like Nacho.
Nacho, man. We got Jimbo over here to the left.
We got Randy over here. Good old KR. Boomer Sooner.
Hen Dog here.
We got G. And you got myself, Dropkick02. Or Brian, doesn't matter.
Check him out, PS4 Live. What's up?
I don't play. Hashtag it. We're going to start it off right now with what we watched this week with television, and we want Hen Dog to start us off. So, Hen Dog, what we got?
Alright, so, considering that two of the biggest shows, or two currently the biggest shows on TV, we've got The Walking Dead, and me personally, I think Westworld is another really big one. Debatable for some people, but I don't give a shit what they think. So I'm actually going to start off, rather than talking about Westworld, to start off with The Walking Dead, considering that everyone's here has probably caught up and has better insight than the other show. So what does everyone think about the last episode?
Well, I'm going to start it off here and saying that I hate the direction Walking Dead is going, only because I have a question to ask. Who's the main star of Walking Dead?
Rick.
Where has he been for the last two episodes?
Regrouping.
Going through therapy over that bashing that he witnessed? Is that what's going on?
I would debate that there isn't a main star.
It's the zombies.
You pick your own star, depending on who you are. Yeah.
Would you say this is a show about an ensemble cast? Because Lost had the same problem where the show was anchored around, as far as Lost was concerned, anchored around Jack, but overall it was a show about multiple characters and multiple storylines. Would you say then that Walking Dead is also following the same footsteps?
I just would say that I don't feel like Walking Dead can go as far out as Lost did with all the multiple storylines going on.
Lost.
I feel like they can't just disappear into a hole somewhere and now all of a sudden there are no zombies, but there's bunnies and rabbits.
So you said you were snooze fest. So last week you had kind of a Carol, King Ezekiel, and Morgan episode. This was pretty much a Negan and a Daryl episode. So you got to kind of see the emo version of Daryl. Would anybody like to chime in on Daryl? That's a pretty popular character.
Dwight tortured.
No.
I mean, they're torturing.
But you kind of, what I was a little upset with is Negan, they didn't really kind of show what was going on with his little compound, his setup. It was just a small little outpost with a few people. And
Negan is everywhere.
Yeah.
I am Negan.
They're Neelington.
He's scary, and he has a...
He's Kaiser from Fallout. That's like, that's...
And he brings Lucille wherever he goes and talks a lot of shit.
I have one question for everybody, like for anybody, I should say. What do you guys think is the reason that no one has like turned on him already? Because obviously he's probably taken from everybody in some way.
Look what he did to Dwight. I was a little upset with Dwight's highway scene where he's like trying to get this guy to go, and then he's like, "I'm not going to shoot you, you must go." Then the guy finally's like, "I agree," and then he shoots him. I'm like, and then of course you go to commercial break, which fucking just pisses you off.
You let him go.
But he was upset because he's almost broken because you see what Negan did to him by burning this guy's face and taking his freaking wife and making his wife.
Who the hell's Dwight?
Dwight is the guy with the burnt face.
Daryl.
Yeah, he wants to be Daryl with the freaking the vest jacket, long hair.
Stole the bike from Daryl earlier.
A little interesting.
Away. Yeah.
Everybody wants to say Negan's bad, but
Daryl got them screwed up, and now he don't got his wife no more.
It probably started with numbers as far as Negan. Like, he probably intimidated a few people, had a few people behind him, and then, like, meet a few other people, intimidate them. And
I get that. I get that.
He gets numbers behind him.
And one upsetting thing, King Ezekiel, you kind of got to see what's up. By the end of the episode, he wanted some of that Carol freaking Poutin, but we won't go into that.
What?
But with Negan, you don't see any of his backstory. So he just came and dropped an apple for no reason.
There's even that backstory. For
Carol is not on the run anymore, but that's last episode.
That was a pomegranate.
I feel like.
But
take this sweet juice.
You got character. You got character development with all three of those characters in the last episode. Yeah. Last week, Negan, you don't show any backstory. He's just still being a crazy motherfucker.
Well, hopefully they do. Hopefully they show backstory.
Comes in, and now next week you got an hour and a half
season.
episode, so it should be a long episode. But back to Negan, everybody was trying to say he did offer, when he offered Dwight a woman, he said, make sure it's of her will. So Negan is not about the rape card, as bad as Negan is.
Yes, that's what I was going to say for Dan's saying, why is everyone kind of just following this guy?
Fear.
Maybe, maybe it's fear. But maybe they're getting something for it. Maybe they're living pretty nice somehow.
So since last week we didn't really go too much into Westworld, I figured it would be a nice way to kind of get everyone caught up. But the first episode also shows, outside of that theme park, how it's kind of run. So there's always, they're talking about maintenance, they're talking about making sure that software is updated for these characters that's in the theme park.
Okay.
And they sort of find out in the first episode that there is a glitch, and they don't know where it came from or what kind of problem it is. But some robots are kind of acting weird. Mm-hmm. In the case of one of the main character, Dolores, her father, ends up finding a picture of this girl, and it's not from the theme park. It's a picture of someone that's outside of the theme park. What it looks like.
Is it time now? Not to cut you off. Question: is it time framed as far as outside of Westworld?
I think it's modern day.
It's modern day,
it's
basically.
Now.
Because they have a map that everyone stands over, and they're kind of they can see the entirety of the theme park.
Might even be. Okay. Is it now or is it like future? I think it might even be. Like
I would say it's probably a little bit more into the future.
Okay, but
obviously we don't have androids.
It's not like outside of the dome. There's like dinosaurs.
Probably like
apocalypse.
Yeah.
Well, the way they describe it, it's getting a little too ahead of myself. But the way they describe it is that it's not like a virtual reality. Mm-hmm. It's an actual like a place,
living world.
Like they talk about expanding construction to put new things.
I get that.
So you have Android A. He dies. He freaking has a set personality. When he dies, he just resets with the exact same personality.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
in fact, they replay the same kind of opening to that show 3 times. The first time they show what happened with the man in black. He comes in. He basically shoots this main character. You kind of assume that's the main character because he's walking off the train. He's talking to people. Yeah, kind of idea it's like the main character, and then he ends up getting shot and killed within the first 15 minutes.
Ends up being a robot.
I think
he's a robot. And
it might be poignant to the conversation because I've actually seen 2 of the actors in it, and that's one thing we're glossing over that we should not gloss over. Okay. Is Anthony Hopkins and Ed Harris both in that TV show?
They are both in the show.
Okay.
So Anthony Hopkins plays Ed Harris. I was going to get to them eventually, but
that's a great for an HBO show. That's a really good cast. The computer generation for young Anthony Hopkins.
They
made a younger version.
That's impressive.
Episode 3.
Any other big characters in that?
It's a young Anthony Hopkins.
Well, the guy who plays Teddy is the guy who plays Cyclops in the original X-Men trilogy. Anyone knows who he is?
I know what you're talking about.
But the guy from
he's in Superman. He's a little bitch.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia. One of the
Charlie did not make his way to this.
Yeah, that's episode 2. That's why I didn't want to.
One of the McBoyle brothers.
Yeah,
I can't handle a freaking Android McBoyle.
So basically, not trying to get too ahead of us. The way you kind of get an idea of how the park is run. The guy who owns or is in charge of it is played by Anthony Hopkins. He's sort of like, you want to call him the god, character in the show. He's the guy who oversees. He kind of think of like John Hammond from Jurassic Park. He oversees the construction and.
Is he
to their emotions.
Is he like malevolent or like?
He's malevolent. He's kind of, you don't kind of have an idea of what his background is, but he doesn't seem like a quote unquote bad guy.
Anthony Hopkins.
He's not. He doesn't seem to be evil. He seems more like a very passionate businessman about this theme park of his.
I don't need. What's the word?
It's not Anaconda. It's not.
I don't need Christmas special Anthony Hopkins. I need.
Hannibal and Anacondas.
Yeah, I need
some dark shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I think we're good. We sold 2 shows pretty hard.
Yeah.
I mean, next week I'm going to bring up True Detective, so a little food for thought for anybody.
Please watch Westworld. I need a second season.
I will definitely.
Yeah.
Next up.
Move on? Yeah. Nice. So next up, we're going to move on to our second topic, and that is the video games. What's in your system? What are you playing? What do you like? What don't you like? So I'll start with my game. I'm actually not playing a game this week besides WWE 2K17, where eventually my first-round draft pick, Goldberg, will become champion. I promise you that. My lovely girlfriend has been playing Mass Effect 2, so I've been watching her play the game because I've never played a Mass Effect.
Mass Effect
Amazing.
2.
Mass Effect 2.
She beat
That game's
all the
great.
Mass Effects. She's playing it on the hardest difficulty, and I respect the hell out of her for
That's
that.
what they're playing.
Renegade.
Yeah, or whatever the.
What's her character gimmick? I'm always intrigued by how people play, or like what the
Soldier.
name, just Soldier.
More proud to it. The game was. The soundtrack in the game was freaking amazing.
That's a quality game. Mass Effect didn't
that
fuck around.
soundtrack
The
was-
beginning of Mass Effect 2 is probably one of my favorites
it's
from
great.
last
Yeah.
generation.
And then
Mass
like
Effect
the
1 was
whole
awesome.
the whole mining a planet for different like
Space travel.
Yeah,
The
it's
music
great.
during that's really cool.
Yes, it is. And Nacho, what do we got?
Well, I'm pretty much jumping between 3 games. I'm addicted to Paragon, as everybody knows. It's completely frustrating to me. I need therapy. I can be honest about that. I get extremely mad. I want to throw the controller because the game is basically lane-based tower defending and tower destroying amongst 3 lanes. And, you know, people get more caught up in the deathmatch aspect of the game and they see somebody off doing something else and don't defend the tower, get killed, and as the game escalates, you pretty much, your respawn time gets longer. So if you die in the first 5 minutes, you can be back on the field 30 seconds at most. But after maybe 40 minutes into the match, you die, you can sit there and watch for about a minute and a half of you having to sit there and wait. So you have to be real smart about the decision making that you're making late in the game, what you're actually doing. And that's really why I get frustrated. Also, Star Trek Online has pretty much also got me hooked.
Star Trek Online.
Yes.
Character. What character?
I am a
to the table?
Klingon,
Cleon.
the IKS Club.
IKS Cleon.
Yes, the IKS the club. No, I had to go there just because I don't want to colonize anything. I want to defend the empire. That's pretty much how I play.
You don't want to be a Ferengi?
No. I want to. I've already met a couple of
like
them.
that.
I played their games in their little bars. I felt like I got robbed because I couldn't tell what the symbol really was, and I don't trust casino, digital casinos. Like I feel like they're robbing me too. So when a video game has me sitting there, you have to put 250 coins in to get the rest of this quest. I feel like it's
Yeah,
extortion.
that's bullshit.
It's such an
No,
extortion.
with Cleons, do you start with the invisibility? Like
Yes.
after that?
Don't you also have
That's cool.
invisibility?
Yeah.
That's cool.
George, is it
You
true?
got, I think, you start out with a cloak and ship, but I think like the Federation ships are
They
like
start
huge.
out with it.
Your ships are like tanks, I believe.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
pretty
that's the
much.
thing.
I gotta like dodge.
Yeah.
and 3-on-1
They have
Federation
higher
ships.
HP or something like that.
I'm pretty much just trying to kill
And
people
probably
as fast
outnumbered.
as possible. Yeah.
Twist.
And outnumbered.
Oh, and everybody else floats in space. I realize that. I'm the guy, go get these. These are the enemies. Because you're in deep space, so you got the whole spectrum of your access to pretty much play with, dodge around. It's like those Air Fighter World War II games, but you got photon
Oh, yeah,
torpedoes
that's cool.
and lasers and shields and stuff.
This is all PvP.
Yeah, you're
That's
pretty
awesome.
much going like that. Only problem is, of course, you got people who want to sit back and cloak and wait. And here I come running gung ho in the 4 ships.
Kind of like the Call of Duty sniping thing, or what's it called?
Pretty much, yeah.
Camping.
Quick
Camping. That's
Camping.
Quick scoping.
Good old fashioned camping. Get your marshmallows,
it.
get your sleeping bag, sit there behind the corner and take your pop
You
shots.
always
But those
respawn, though. That's the thing.
those are my Klingon brethren.
But in
so
a MMO world, for somebody to do that, that takes patience. Camping, I would maybe accept.
that's
I don't-
why I wail in. I go for
Yeah,
high
that's definitely-
death criticals as fast as possible.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not.
Interesting. What are you playing that on? That's
That's free on PS4.
interesting. I did
So
not know
it's
that.
free on everything now.
I
Yeah,
did not know that. I don't know enough about Star Trek though.
You don't need to.
You don't need to.
Just
As
go with
long
it.
as you can play Skyrim and that, you gotta
You can,
build your
well-
ship and you build your crew.
Gotcha. All right. I mean, I can maybe get into that. You said a third game. What's your third game?
WWE. I'm not cutting any promos because I let my wrestlers talk for themselves. But
Nakamura.
pretty much.
Oh man.
We got a lot. Goldberg.
I give you that.
I just want everybody to know, if you've ever had a streak Undertaker's still currently 2-0. So
And he wasn't even your main pick.
no, but
He's alive.
I'm going for Streak Killer. The streak. I'm trying to revive it since the Brock Lesnar took it away.
Get past Steve Bryan, you got Goldberg at the
Yes.
pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what Christy wants for him.
Yeah.
It's a tough match, but
Jimbo, what do you got?
I was just playing the wrestling game. I can't get out of it. It just stays in my system. I just play it. Freaking playing 6-man tags, elimination, checking out characters. Still same thing. Haven't even touched career mode. Either one, I don't know. And then obviously we're playing this league. So the leagues, we got pay-per-view coming up in 2 weeks. Little side card, go home show this week. So no need for promos. Tune in for that stuff. Either gonna put Fallout back in, or I don't know. I just can't get the wrestling game out of my desk. Video games.
Are you playing online, or are you playing?
Get my online matches in, but it's just seeing who's out there created. There's cool Zeuses. There's all these cool characters. I mess around with the movesets. See what moves are in the game. The update just put a new Phenomenal Elbow, but I'm probably not going to switch that off from the Phenomenal AJ Styles, who's probably going to be like the Hardcore Champ, Tag Champ, King of the Ring, World Champ. So there's a little promo. I am Phenomenal, but Royal Rumble probably once it gets to that.
What about online leagues? Are you in any?
No, the online's still such a horrible setup. As Henry touched base last week, 2K just doesn't know how to do online. Not good wrestling setup for that. So, like I said,
any game.
2K?
Yeah, it's just 2K's kind of iffy, but I haven't really gamed it hard. Hopefully, I got a little vacay. Fallout will be making a stride to come back.
I don't take the
I can't do my career in that game. It's too tedious.
Yeah,
it's too long. It's
Right.
you play the same matches over and over again. You get nowhere.
No good booking. It's not even entertaining.
I'm not even bothering with achievements in that because my career is way too
You've
long.
advanced past a few people and you fight them over and over again. You don't get your title shot.
You gotta start the feud. I play the booking game with the game.
Well, how do you start a feud, man?
I beat the shit out of the Triple H. Now that he has the belt, I run in every match.
You're talking about career mode.
Yeah, you just.
I run in every
making it
Triple
up
H
as you
match.
go.
I call him out. While whoever has the belt, I go at their neck.
If you go
right
in
now,
and you-
Rock is my best friend because I beat the shit out of John Cena just because he was coming after my belt.
So if you just like play it, like it as
You
it gives
have to. You
gotta
gotta
get
go
into it.
back to
If
being
you just play it as it gives
15
to you,
years
you don't
old.
get, you don't get anything.
Yeah.
You have
I'm
to
a
kinda
trophy
make-
whore, so I revert back.
You make it work.
You make it work. You find a way to make it work. You make your own storyline in the middle of it. The game kind of helps out if you you can always switch gimmick if things get stale.
Well, the Prince, formerly known as Kung Fu
Oh,
Retro.
Kung Fu Sensation.
You got any games this
In the
week? Or you
flesh.
passing?
I'm still playing Final Fantasy 14. I think I'm going to be playing that for a while. I dusted off my 3DS. I went to Target today. I got a $7, bought a charger because I lost or something happened to my thing. A cat got to it. Brought back some Pokemon X. Trying to get ready for Sun and Moon coming out. That's gonna be pretty sick.
Next week,
I saw Red and Blue is back. That's
Of
And
course.
Sun and Moon?
and Sun and Moon.
Of course.
They're back
Get that
and they're
bread.
older.
Interesting. Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's the return. Everyone thought that Red was dead in those
Man, who thought Red? Who thought Red was dead?
Pokemon theories.
man.
Pokemon
Pokemon
theories.
series.
Diamonds possessed. Illuminati.
Wasn't wasn't the big conspiracy theory that Ash was dead at the beginning of the Pokemon
Yeah,
series?
the anime.
Because he saw Ho-Ho and you only
Yeah.
see him when you're dead.
Because in the Pokedex, Ho-Ho says, or it says Ho-Ho only appears when you die. If you're no longer on this earth.
He saw Ho-Ho when he crashed.
Pretty deep for a kid's show.
They hit you at the heart.
It's like the Sixth Sense now.
Yeah.
Been dead all along.
That's gonna be my theory with Walking Dead, that Rick's in a coma and this whole thing's a dream. But that's another.
And Shane's going to be giving him a foot rub. It's alright, buddy.
Good old KR. What do we got?
Oh man, I got a video game ADD a little bit. I skip all over the place. So
That's good.
I got Battlefield 1.
How's that?
That's fantastic. I mean, you can't do much better than that as far as a shooter goes.
So there's no radar, right?
No radar.
No radar.
You
There's a
don't-
mini map. There's no
There's
radar.
a mini map. There's, I mean, up to 64 people per side, right?
Really?
Right?
32 per side, 64 in
64 total.
Jeez.
I mean, just all out war.
Vehicles and everything.
Everything. Yep. Tanks, light tanks, heavy tanks, jeeps,
Down.
planes, and everything plays like it should play. I mean, there's nothing that.
How do you know?
What feels? I've been there.
I've seen it, bro.
I've seen some things.
The controls feel right.
Yeah, everything feels balanced. It feels like it should feel. Yeah, so I've been playing that. I have XCOM 2. I haven't touched it. I haven't played it yet.
Really?
I got so many things.
XCOM is the game with the alien.
Yes, like turn-based.
Okay.
So many things sitting. Wrestling game, 2K17. Play that. What else I got? Mafia 3.
Oh, that's out?
People.
It's a really good game, but it's just repetitive after first 2
Well,
weeks.
See, I was gonna say against it. I was gonna say people say it's like glitchy and repetitive, and I don't really mind it. I think it's
probably fun.
Glitchy, okay. Glitchy in comparison to
I haven't
first Mafia, or like worse than that, because if that was kind of glitchy, but I still had.
I'll give you a
tons of
perfect
fun with
example.
that.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
When I was playing that game, I was just walking around, and I was standing in the middle of the street because I was looking at my mini map. I had a car run me over. I got stuck in the car. I didn't die. Another car came at me, hit
so
that
those
car.
physics
I got
don't
stuck
work.
between 2 cars, and then the game crashed on me. That's the kind of bullshit that.
Yeah, okay, that would definitely. Yeah, that would piss me
I
off.
haven't. I would say I've seen one major glitch, was like chase scene over a broken bridge. On the other side of the bridge, the car landed perfectly fine, then flipped over for some reason. And I was like, "What was that?" But other than that, nothing too major.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a fun game. I would say it's better than Mafia 2.
So my game for the week is Call of Duty: Infinite Warfare. Rented that out.
That wasn't your topic, my bad.
Basically, the game blows. So.
Come on, don't hold back. Be honest with us. Come on,
It's war in space. I bet.
Single player, basically, it's like Mass Effect. You basically start off. Jon Snow is, for whatever reason, the bad guy. He's part of like a frontier defense force general. He comes in, he blows shit up on Earth. You're the only surviving battleship or carrier is the carrier that you're on. You become the admiral or commander on it, and you basically fly out and do missions to fight against these, whatever rebels or whatever they're called. But the game is basically a kind of a ripoff of a lot of science fiction games that I've played already. Starting with like Halo. I can't really think of anything else besides Halo, but it takes a lot of inspiration from games like that. And Mass Effect. Because you literally go up walking. Dead Space 2. Yeah. I mean, you really how you choose a mission is basically like how Mass Effect is. You go up to a HUD in the middle of your command center, and it pops up like a galaxy map, and you basically go to areas and combat or stealth missions and whatnot. So the game's
still called.
It's not that good. And then multiplayer is what's even worse.
Even worse than
because it is not only your typical Call of Duty run and gun shooter, but now they can do bunny hops and do jetpacks and fly over the place. So they're moving like crazy late.
It's Halo.
Well, Halo was a little slower. Where this is, you're just flying around,
holding the jetpack button.
Yeah, and then you can pull up like your gun instantly, like quick scoping people, or like you run up to a guy and you automatically drop to the ground like prone, shoot up, so that guy can't. Like basically.
There's a lot of exploits on.
Not exploits, but just being. Basic scumbag playing the game.
That's called.
Are the stages large, or is it?
It's your typical
Modern Warfare.
Yeah. Your typical Call of Duty Modern Warfare map. It's not big, but it's not too small either. It's enough for a 6 versus 6 like a match.
I like big stages. I feel like
they spent too much money campaigning and getting Michael Phelps and Eastbound and Down in the commercial.
Yeah,
that's probably what happened.
Well, they spent all the money on on whoever that Kid Harington for Jon Snow, and then
King of the North. Is there multiplayer for the original Modern Warfare?
Yes, it is the original game. I think they only put in 10 of the original 16 maps, but they're all redone. So all the new graphics then.
I just want to touch on some of pulling up the scope and sniping people. That's what I love about Battlefield, is how manual it is.
Yeah,
you take one shot and then you have to reload.
Mm-hmm. You're not getting one shot. There's no scope.
Well, the speed of which you just scope people in the game is literally you press the trigger and instantly the scope's right in the face.
Yeah,
like
stupid.
And for all the other guns, you you see your arm go up to your head and aiming down the sights. But the sniper rifles, for whatever reason, you're so like a robot. You can instantly zoom in and hit someone.
Broken.
With it.
OP.
I hate that shit.
Well,
Next, I want to bring up to our next topic would be music, and this is going to be a rapid fire. I'm going to start with someone and work our way around. Name me the artist and song that's for the week for you. KFS.
In the flesh.
What song?
Still alive.
Songs are you listening to?
It's the Queen.
All right.
Speak.
So I came across YouTube channels that had a lot of good they call this vapor wave. I hope the title doesn't.
It sounds like something that a bunch of people at the vape store would listen to.
Yeah, let's not judge. All right,
If you gotta say that, then
this is not a brony. This is just.
It's just two bros hanging
mellow
out.
beats. That's what it is. Just there's a few good YouTube. Sun Levy, and Artiste Music. If you just go to those guys' YouTube channels, you'll see
Maybe hit the producer in the gorilla position, play a little tidbit of this song.
Just to touch on that, just because you let me know about that RC music, I just want you to know that the people that I know who do music, I probably will be rapping on your beats.
Yeah, that's
because that Snake Way song
stuff
deserves
like that.
my voice. Don't be like Nacho.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of good music can come from that.
Yeah, because honestly, the music itself is pretty awesome. All the way
on
through.
top of that.
Sitting there listening to, because the video itself is Snake Way, like you said.
Yeah, it's just a loop.
Just the loop of that road, but the song doesn't get mundane at all.
No.
Good old KR. What do we got? Song and title.
So, this one, try not to get political.
Whoa.
This one has been released specifically. So this is Run the Jewels. It's about fear, and it's about love, and it's about wanting more for all of us. It's called 2100. We hope it finds you well.
Throw a double finger with a fist, here at the abyss. I will be your tour guide. It is wartime, check your wrist. Ready, kid? Over to your right, shine a light. Got a bevy ready for the...
G, what do we got?
A song that I've been listening to a lot is a song called Red Lights by Salem. It's like this weird, they call it witch house type music, electronic music. Susie Sue and the Banshees, that's a band that other members of the Moore Dojo have gotten me into recently. They're an older band. They're from the early 80s. But I'm getting into them. The Knife, I always listen to them. The Misfits, the Talking Heads, the Damned. Grimes, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. She's pretty poppy, but she has a couple really good songs. Let's see, Joy Division. Actually, I want to talk about them for a second. They're also an older band.
I only have one song and one song only for this week. That is Tool, Learn to Swim.
Yeah, Tool's good.
Nacho, what are we listening to?
I got a lot of different types of music that I listen to because I could be at work. I listen to Michael Jackson just to piss everybody else off. Sing it out loud.
That's great, man.
Nah, trust me.
Little Michael?
Some of them.
I just got off the
Oh, Michael.
All Michael from Jump Street, from all the way up. And I'll dance around and shit like that just because I'm fine like that.
So is Nakamura.
Yeah, I don't care.
We're foreshadowing some of my songs here. They're retro kung fu relaxed.
But I actually found myself singing that song from Suicide Squad, All My Friends Are Here, randomly. Also Black Beatles by Ray Schmurda, from a more hip-hop type of aspect.
Quick release the cash, watch it fall slowly. Frat girl still trying to get in. Haters mad for.
And also, don't forget to pick up my music. It's out there.
Shameless plug.
iTunes. No shame at all.
Cheap pop. Right here.
On iTunes.
Right here in the Moore Dojo.
Moore Dojo, we got it. Get Hurt. That's another one. That's more for our lovers out there, heartbroken people. It's called Get Hurt by the Gaslight Anthem.
Have you come here to get hurt?
Jimbo.
Well, my segment will be brought to you by Ghostbusters High C, Ecto Cooler, in stores now. Randy, you seem like you're retro kung fu of the kung fu sensation. Of passing out freaking Kevin's drinks. Of the Kev Dog, good old JR. I mean, some people have barbecue sauce. Good old JR, fucking Kev has the High C Ecto Cooler. I know some people listen to. If I was to make a quick little playlist, we'll throw some System of a Down. Let's get some crazy rock in there. Metallica's always good for a listen. Maybe polish it off with a little George Thorogood. Hey, one bourbon, one scotch, one beer. Bad to the bone. What do you got to do? Hey, good old cruising music.
Cruising music.
One bourbon, one scotch, and a beer. One bourbon, one scotch, one beer.
So with all of us being old wrestling fans, I was like, what would be a good old classic pay-per-view to watch? And Starrcade '97 came to mind. So I was like, you know what, let's see what's going on. Now Starrcade was WCW's almost their WrestleMania kind of their year. So '97, this is the main event of Hogan and Sting. This is Sting with almost a year and a half build to this match. So it starts off a little bit of a video package. The Nitro right before, they don't show any of this on the pay-per-view. This is the Nitro where NWO just took complete over. They freaking spray painted the signs, and for like the last hour, it's just them owning Nitro. So you start off with Starrcade '97, the build-up. There was just no kind of words were spoken. It's just kind of like a little bit of a Crow rip-off with Sting kind of in the rain. And then after watching Crow, you kind of see this build-up. So decent build-up video, but not too much is shown. It's just kind of showing Sting in the rain. So you get the opening, you get the crowd of Tony Schiavone, Dusty Rhodes, and Tonight doing the business on the mic. So you start off, you have all the other wrestlers aren't being used, Rey Mysterio, Harlem Heat, in the audience. So they're trying to use them like they're not on the card, which I almost think kind of buries them in a way. Sting versus Hogan. This is like a year and a half build. This pay-per-view almost can dictate the future of WCW. And you have kind of lackluster. I mean, Sting didn't wrestle for a year and a half. You could kind of tell he was out of shape. I almost feel like modern Sting in this WrestleMania and Night of Champions almost had more gas in the engine in a way. But Hogan, they're going back and forth. So you have this build. You have Sting coming back after, like I said, the harbor back to it, a year and a half. The finish is supposed to be a fast count with Nick Patrick, looked like, as the booking. Hogan drops the leg. Sting gets pinned 1, 2, 3, and not a slow count. Pretty much your solid. Not that fast. Sting doesn't kick out. Right as they go to ring the bell, Bret Hart grabs him, stops him from ringing the bell. And you're like, what? What's going on? He's like, I know something about shitty refereeing. This is not happening. Not on my watch. Restarts the match. They throw Hogan in the sharpshooter. And he kind of just like shakes his head. Scorpion Deathlock, excuse me, for Sting. And Bret Hart kind of, it looked like Hogan kind of tapped. They ring for the bell. All the fans run out. But it's just like, almost like Sting's the bad guy. Hogan beat Sting almost clean after a year and a half of build-up of all this shady NWO stuff. Hogan beats Sting clean, and Bret Hart stops it and freaking gives the title pretty much to Sting.
But that was on the referee for not doing the fast count.
Yeah, I think Nick Patrick kind of messed up. I think it is mostly Nick Patrick.
If it was the fast count, then it would be.
It would only
It's just how I can't believe they missed the execution on that.
Well, that's a WCW thing. I think across the board, it's like they had everything that they needed to go and knock Vince out and completely botched it every time. Because how many times did Sting not actually wrestle and barely get any screen time, yet they talked about him all night.
He was in the rafters.
Yeah, all night they're talking about him, and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're getting good matches, but you're waiting on Sting and
over a year they're doing that.
But that's the definition.
Execution. That's what I feel like that was their death note right there.
But I mean, it's pretty cool to throw back an old school pay per view. You watch it from start to finish, kind of see like what the storylines going into that was. And it was a solid watch. I mean, you had WrestleMania 14 coming in right after that, only a few months after. That's almost the birth in a way of Stone Cold. That's when he beat Shawn Michaels for the title. So you kind of just put in perspective of the storyline of where they're at. Interesting watch. Do I suggest go watch it? No, it kind of ended on a sour note, I think.
Oh.
So I think there's other pay-per-views to watch.
What's your grade for it?
Grade.
How many bags of popcorn do you do?
Wasn't horrible. Kind of kept just kind of right in the middle. Kind of just not horrible. Just the execution of the last 2 matches really hurt it. With wrestling, you kind of need that third act in a way to nail it home, and I don't think they did it.
So now we are gonna end this with a Randy topic.
Randy Rant.
Randy Rant. I'd like to touch on something that a lot of us wrestling fans come across on internet, and that's shoot interviews in general. Just, we're fortunate because we grew up with a lot of these wrestlers that now with technology and time have the time to actually tell us kind of like a side of wrestling that we would never hear about or know unless we were like meet them or run into someplace like that. A lot of guys from the 90s say like what was your favorite match? Who was your favorite match? A lot of them say Bret Hart. They say it was a night off. He would just, do that. A lot of them ask like, what's your opinion of Vince McMahon? A lot of them would say he's a wrestling fan. He's a wrestling fan. The guy loves wrestling. He wouldn't just loves it. He loves bodybuilding, he loves wrestling. Like those two. And that's why big champions is his ideal. But like when you hear like some shoot interviews of just like, I don't know, some people like JBL, like he's a scumbag in the back. Like he's just like model. He's just like dick. But that's just, the human reaction.
Picking on people. He made Miz change another dressing room. Joey Styles had to punch him out one time on an airplane.
Yeah. There's stuff like
Jumped
that.
in the shower with Christian.
Yeah, he does a little questionable shit too. But.
Then you got Taker, right? Taker was...
Yeah, Taker, he's like, he's the man to see in the back. He's like the old man time, like the veteran, the grizzled veteran in the back. And everyone looks up to him. Like, still to this day, like, no one talks shit about him. Like, and that guy's been in the business for how many years? Like, since the 80s.
Decades.
Yeah. And, it's definitely, shoot interviews is definitely something to give you an idea for wrestling fans to check out, because you get to see that.
What would be your favorite shoot interview that you've heard to date?
There's like as we know, Kevin Nash gives good shoot interviews. Like he's just really comedic. He's entertaining. And there's a few other guys like I love New Jack's interviews. You hear a lot of these wrestlers talk about the business and how now a lot of them like don't have a pot to piss in, and it's not you.
Or a window to throw it out of.
Yeah, there's like they have like a lot of them have nothing. Just the dumb ones you could say are the ones that didn't really get over. Some guys still have a lot of money and because they're smart. So all said and done, I'm good on wrestling.
On that note, we're going to close out our show here, and I'd like to thank everyone that participated: Nacho, Jimbo, KFS, good old KR, N-Dog, NG, and myself. And from all of us, the here and now, thank you and good night.
Later.
Good night.
Love it.